Hello and welcome to a first look at my solo RPG Maker VXACE project. I've been kind of lazy for the past couple months ever since I graduated from Full Sail University, and I realized that I had a project that I was working on a while back, and I stopped because school was getting crazy and it was requiring a whole lot of time, and I just didn't really have the time or the patience to do this. But I recently started picking this back up, and as you see here, here's my world map, which I'll get to in a moment. And a lot of it is very crude work currently because I'm trying to have something that functions. In the future, as I continue to develop the game, and I have to go through, make sure all the characters are, good, their items are good, things that they can equip are good, I'll be releasing sort of prototype tests, whatever you want to call it, for people to try out in order to help me test the balance, the flow, the challenge. Is this too hard? Is this too easy? Things like that. So what I have here, like I said, is my very basic world map. I know it doesn't look like anything crazy right now, but it's going to change. But I wanted something that would satisfy all of what I did. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what the story is, but I've actually started the story in my historical archetypes and mythology class back in beginning of my freaking degree program. Actually, it's been a while. I want to say it was 2010. So I started developing the story, started developing the characters, so I pretty much already know the direction where I'm headed. So that said, it helps my development process because a lot of the legwork is already completed as far as the story. I still have to do the dialogue and everything, obviously, which it's going to be sort of it's basically going to be a mature game. Like I said, I won't tell you the premise, what happens, but it is a very mature game, very mature theme, very mature story, and I think it is something that will be enjoyed. Now, one of the things that I was really stressing was trying to get battles working. Now, I cannot take any credit for this at all. This was apparently made, as you can see, it's not in English. This is called, I believe it's Tank Tai, made by, I believe, an individual named Inu or something like that. And I received this while doing research for tutorials from a guy called the Passive Lion in the RPG Maker community. Now, as a lot of developers probably know, scripts, when they're set up, you generally just take it and use it, and you adjust it how you see fit. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Ruby script currently, but I do plan to learn because there's going to be a lot of things that I need to change. But as you can see here, these 5 scripts, now this one I know does not do anything because these are comments. That much I do know. I really don't understand the point of this one, but I haven't removed it just because I don't want to break anything. I want to be 100% sure that it is completely safe for me to remove before I do it. But there are things I have to change. Now, what happens is, normally, if any of you have ever played the original Dragon Warrior games, normally you play this and you battle, you're first person. Your battles are first person. You don't see your characters, and the one exception to the rule of first person battles, I believe, that I can think of right off the bat was the Phantasy Star series. But what I wanted to do was take it to the side view battles, sort of like Final Fantasy, because I feel like you can do a lot more. Now, Phantasy Star, they did a lot as well, but I prefer the side view. Now, if I go here into my database, you can see I have characters because this is where I have to do everything. I still have a lot of work to do in here. I already have my characters made, and I have my classes set. You're not going to be changing classes in this game. I did some renaming on some skills. I think actually I still have to rename some spells. I want to get something working before I start changing everything. I gotta change the items, make my own weapons. Still quite a bit, but like I said, a lot of it is just the nitty-gritty work because I already know the story by heart because I created it a long time ago. I just need to do the dialogue and tweak it, edit it, have people proofread, check it out. So like I was saying, normally if you fight, as you can see, I can move the guys around, change how they appear on battle. Now normally it's first person, but what happens here is that, and let's make, oops, no, don't want that. Well, you kind of already caught a glimpse, but let's battle something a little bit more interesting. Let's bust out some werewolves. The only annoying thing is they're not facing the right direction currently, but that's okay for now. So we'll do a battle test. I will go ahead and put out all of my teammates. Oh, he's level 99 from a prior test. I will go ahead and match it. The only issue I'm having is I have to figure out, how I can adjust my max party to 6, because towards the end of the game you'll have up to 6 people fighting, and I just haven't gotten to that point yet. He starts at 40. Alright, so oop, no, what is that? Alright, so I got my team set. They don't have equipment. Yeah, I'll just give them something. You can have something cool. Yeah, there's a few things I have to change because these guys will not be wielding this stuff. Like Kreiser will be using daggers. He'll be using fang enhancements, not unlike Red 13 from Final Fantasy VII, sort of similar. So let's give this battle a go. That's kind of loud. But anyway, you see the battles is side view. So I didn't really have to change much. Now one issue I was having a lot of crashes, which I ended up changing. Now here's one thing that is going to be a big thing. Currently you use an ability, let's see here, where's a group attack? This is a group attack. Currently, oh. See, the images are very plain. You see a green square among their so-called weapons, and when he cast his ability, there was nothing to it. I mean, like, see, here's his ultimate attack, and currently all he does is, it looks like he's casting a spell. You see the effect, boom. That is not the end result that I want. Now that's, for the time being, testing, that's how it's going to be, because I'm not an animator, I am no artist. I either have to learn, which would probably take way too much time, so I'm probably going to have to find me an artist to help me do this, because, like, for example, that the GSO combo, I want him to basically fly around the screen and do all kinds of craziness, crazy moves, and just obliterate everybody on screen. That is my ultimate goal. Excuse me. But that's going to take work. It's going to take new scripts, because I have to make sure that the ability calls upon the full animation, that he actually comes from where he's standing and then flies around the area. Hopefully some of those scripts are already available to call animations like that, but we will see, because I don't know how to adjust that yet. But yeah, as you look, I've made some small areas already. The levels are there. I will say that I did use some of the already included maps in order to get it going, because for the sake of time and as far as getting a prototype together, but I am working on my own little areas. Like, for example, the village of Erd obviously looks very simple, but that's what it's meant to be. It's at the base of a mountain in a forest, so really there's nothing level. This, I just did it just because I just need something, and it's always been stressed that it's more important to have something than nothing to work with, and for all intents and purposes I have something to work with, and it's going to improve. Like, these maps will change, all maps will change, because in the long run I want this whole thing to be custom. I mean, as a matter of fact, I don't want to use any of the materials that were given. Like, these were actually purchased. I purchased these. I believe this was from the Samurai pack. but I don't want to use what I got from somebody else in the end. If time doesn't permit me to get it, you know, if I can't find a good enough artist, then this is what I'll be using. And you know, that's fine, because it's not like the original stuff that's included in here. Because I mean, if the original, you can tell anything that's red is custom and the blue stuff was already in here. You know, that this was all the stuff that came with the program. And you know, I did not want to change that. Where's my guy? There he is. Nice and easy. And it's of course tricky to match it up to the graphic, but it's a lot of fun. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this first look at my game that I've currently named Dawn of Ispris, because it follows the world of Ispris. And this is the first video log of the development process. I won't be recording everything that I do, like as I do it, but in the development stages I will show progress and things that I've changed, just so that you guys can kind of follow, you know, critique me, give me suggestions, tell me what you think I should do, you know, or don't tell me, but suggest what I should do, you know, because I'm always open to ideas. And anybody that does give me an idea, if I use it, you will get credit for it. I don't steal ideas. I have more integrity than that. Anyway, that will be all for this current development log. I hope to see you guys next time, and take care. Bye-bye.